Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing some updates on some drugstore and affordable makeup I've been testing. In my head, this wasn't a speed reviews, but it actually is a speed reviews. I have 19 products that I'm going to be talking about. A lot of these were really popular products, not all of them, but a lot of them were. But in my head, this wasn't a speed reviews, but now I realize that I am updating you on all of these products that were in my speed reviews drawers, but with a drugstore affordable theme. I have 19 products, so I don't need to be as speedy as normal. So yeah, it's a speed reviews, but a little less speedy than normal because we have less products. But these are all drugstore and affordable products that I've been testing for a while now and a lot recently in different ways with different products and with multiple wear tests, of course, so that I can give you my final updated thoughts on these. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that we have, in my opinion, is such an underrated launch. I didn't hear anybody talk about these Catrice Soft Glam Filter Fluids. Now, obviously, these are supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, but these are quite different, if you ask me. They have less glow to them. They also have less coverage and are a little bit more watery than the e.l.f. ones as well. So these have their own place and their own way of performance. If you have dry skin, this is a pretty hydrating product as well. One thing is it will stay tacky on the face, so it will even out coverage-wise a little bit. But I don't recommend wearing it alone unless your hair is up because it will feel a little sticky, but not in a bad way, more so in like a hydrating kind of way. But the hair on your, I have a lot of baby's hairs, lots of hairs that are constantly growing in, so I always have hair that is most likely going to be stuck to my face and my face is too sticky. So that's a me issue. But in case you also have it, it doesn't like set down or anything, so it is a little bit sticky feeling. But anyways, this is really great under a drying foundation because it is more liquidy and hydrating and doesn't set down. So I find that when I put drying foundations over this, my skin looks better. Now the glow on this, it's beautiful on its own. So if you don't have the problem that I have, it's not too much, but it gives a really healthy glow. I think this would be beautiful with just some concealer blended out a little bit thinly all over the face. The glow on this is gorgeous, but it also is a glow that's not going to pop through on anything with coverage, so you kind of lose that aspect. So there's pros and cons to this product, but overall, because of my dry skin, I actually really like this, and I think the glow in of itself is beautiful. So even though my hair will stick to it, it is a beautiful product. So we like that. Next up is a product that I know a lot of you guys were asking me about. This one was a popular launch from e.l.f. This is the Camel Hydrating CC Cream. So they have a CC cream that, of course, they were inspired by the one from IT Cosmetics in matte. And I've always really liked this, and a lot of you had asked me about this hydrating one. So the con to this is I feel like it can sit a little bit thick on the skin, so I wouldn't over apply this. The less is more when it comes to this product. It has a light medium kind of coverage to it. I think this is really pretty when it is applied in moderation. I think that this wears a really long time as well. If you're new to my channel, I do have dry skin. I have pores. I have textures. I have that as well. And today I made an effort not to apply too much, and I think it looks really beautiful. But on days that I've applied too much of this, I thought, you know, it was sitting a little bit heavy. I definitely wasn't having what I would consider to be a good makeup day. But overall, for the price point, and as long as you don't apply too much, I think that this is gorgeous. And while it is more hydrating than the original, because it's more hydrating, it does have that tendency to look a little bit more thick and also not to smooth down texture. So make sure you pair it with products that can kind of make up for that. Like I used a really blurring powder today since this does nothing for my pores and my skin looks stunning. So I actually really do very much like this. So just be careful. But it's good. Another super duper viral product was the NYX Pro Fix Stick Correcting Concealer. I do not urge you to put this on the under eyes because it's a little thick and dry. Now, I noticed that the darkest areas of my eye are right in the inner corner and then right here. So this does give such great coverage. So I'll warm it up on my finger and then press it on the eye, and it's the perfect color corrector. Now, I don't go underneath where the fine lines start. I strictly keep it in the inner corner, and the coverage it gives is great, and that does allow to apply a less or a thinner layer of concealer over top, which means there's going to be less creasing. So I really like this, and it's also phenomenal for zit coverage and spot concealing as well. It's a little drier, but that makes it great because it's like sticky. So on a zit, it doesn't move around quite as much. So not on the under eyes, but definitely for spot concealing, and then maybe for a little bit of color correcting on the inner corner. This is great. I have two cream bronzers. The first one is from Milani. It's the Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. Overall, I think this is a beautiful cream bronzer. I think that sometimes the Cheek Kiss formulas from Milani can be a little bit slippery, so make sure you're not wearing too many slippery products with this, because this is not a cream bronzer that sets down. It just continues to stay a cream all day, and the formulation is a little bit more on the thin and like wet side. It's not super wet, but it has no like powder in here that's going to dry down at all. I think the shade that I've been using, Hey Honey, is stunning, and these are very easy to use. I think these are a great cream bronzer pickup, but I do recommend to set with a little bit of powder, because if you're a little bit sweaty and oily, this could travel a bit. The other one that I've been testing, like this one I tested kind of recently, but I've been using it so much that I already have my thoughts formulated on the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Diamond Bronzer. This is quite similar to the Makeup by Mario Skin Transformer. The shade that they have is different, but it's similar in that it is a like sheer bronzer. I think that the Makeup by Mario feels a little bit more wet than this, but it gives a similar effect to the face. So if you've been curious about the Makeup by Mario and you want a bronzer that is more sheer, if you're looking for more affordable options, Physicians Formula is the way to go. And why would you want a sheer bronzer? It's simple. For lighter makeup days, sometimes you just don't want too much pigmentation. I think it's beautiful on bare skin or very light coverage like tinted moisturizer. It's not going to overpower the look or look overly bronzed. And like I'm overly bronzed today with the powder bronzer that I put over top. That doesn't look quite as good on a more natural makeup day. So it just gives a more subtle effect. It's a different vibe, really clean kind of vibe. I love it. This one is also phenomenal from the drugstore and underrated. Now this one is one of the most viral bronzers at the drugstore right now. This is the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. I have the shade Deserve Butter. I purchased this in person in store at Ulta, and I hate the shade I picked for myself. It is way too deep on me, hence why I look overly bronzed today. So I'm going to comment on the formulation, but these are pigmented. So go a little bit lighter than you think you need to go, because a bronzer like this I can get to work if it's a more sheer level of pigmentation. Since this is powdery and pigmented, it's a lot on my face. So keep that in mind, pigmented. And what I mean by powdery is it's really soft. So when you put your brush in, all of those pigment particles are in your brush and they're going to be applied to the face. Hence you get too strong of a color if you body shade too dark like me. But the upside to this is it blends so nice. Buttermelt, yes, true. And they also just launched, if you missed it, Buttermelt blushes that I cannot wait to try. I'm going to assume they're going to be soft, blendable, and very pigmented. But yeah, I mean, do I think this is worth the crazy hype? Probably not. I think it's a little overhyped, but it is a nice product. But maybe my mind will be changed with a better shade. I don't know. There's a lot of good powder bronzers at the drugstore that I enjoy. Next up, I have a liquid blush from the drugstore. Lots of colors available here. Love the packaging of the Profusion Blush Hour Soft Matte Liquid Blushes. One thing I don't like about these is the formulation is really wet and it will separate, so you have to shake it before each use. But other than that, I think it is a beautiful liquid blush product. In the demo, I put Rosé on this side of the cheek. This is a color that I would recommend for more fair sides of the skin because it worked on me, but it was a bit light. On the other side, I used Aperol Spritz, which is gorgeous. I love the glittery top packaging here. I think it's a really nice, easy to use formula, quite blendable. It leaves a little bit of a glow, like a dew to the cheek. The only thing is longevity on this isn't the greatest. I think its best performance is when set with a powder over top, which might defeat the purpose of the liquid aspect, or purchase a darker shade, let it be a little bit more obnoxious at application, and you'll notice that it'll fade a little bit and look a little bit more natural. But even with this side right here, I feel like the color has faded and it's not as visible. But I think it's still a worthwhile formula given the price point, given how easy it is to use, and I think it's an easy fix to make it last longer. A little bit of powder or a little bit of a darker color, maybe a thicker layer of application, and I think you'll enjoy those very much. This Physicians formula is another item, super underrated. The Mineral Wear Diamond Blur Skincare Powder. One of the best powders that I've used from the drugstore. It is so buttery soft and blurring. You guys know how I love a really fine blurring powder. Anytime I wear this, my skin looks so soft. I haven't heard anybody talk about this powder. I believe there's some good ingredients, hence the name skincare powder. I don't even care about that. Blur away my problems, and I don't got no problems with you. I don't have problems with this beautiful powder. So yeah, hopefully you can see in the demo, but it is quite a blurring powder, and I'm looking at my skin right now, and it looks so soft. You know, sometimes in my like speed reviews videos, my makeup doesn't necessarily look the greatest because I'm doing split face, I'm putting on products I don't like, I'm layering products so that you can see, I'm putting extra on so that you can see on camera. Like today, I really love the way that my makeup looks, and part of that is because of this powder. It's stunning. And then the last complexion product that I have is from Elf. I've been using it nonstop because it's been the only setting spray in my speed review drawers for when I'm filming. It's the Elf Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I don't notice this doing anything for longevity, but I do notice it kind of finishing the makeup. The mist on this, in my opinion, is too misty. Like I can't really feel the powder. I feel like nothing gets on my face unless I'm right here directly spraying on the face. I do think it does a good job of making my makeup melt, like just melt together and look better, but I have to use a ton of it. I feel like I'm spraying all the time. I don't love the components here. I think the spray is really nice in terms of making makeup melt, but when you buy the product, you're also buying the component. There's not much you can do about it unless you want to go through the effort of changing the bottle. I don't. But it does make my makeup look better. So it's a nice formula. Don't like the mist though. So that's it for current complexion from the drugstore. I have a few eye items to talk about. The first one we'll talk about is brows. This, another viral product. This is the Maybelline Build a Brow. Love this. I think this is phenomenal. The gel though is so teeny tiny. Surely this will not last very long, but it actually has quite a nice hold. It's not like a product that's gonna plaster your brows or laminate your brows or like lay them down and tell them what's up like I personally like. But I will say, I'll brush the hairs, and my hairs aren't exactly obedient to this, but they'll kind of go in the right direction. But then this sets down and then my brows are like kind of set. So I think it's a good gel. I do really like the pen side as well. It's not one that's going to deposit too much liquid or too much color. Sometimes I think it can be a little too soft to where I have to go in and shake it. But for the most part, this is definitely one of the best pens that I've come across because I'm pretty picky about them. While I can be a bit too soft, I'd rather that than something that's depositing too much liquid because that can look terrible fast. Every time I use this, I really do get a nice soft brow. So this is a good product. On the eyes, I have the J-Cap Prismetal Chrome Eye Mousse. And this one, I think, I don't know if it's a little dried out or what because I've loved these in the past. The shade that I have is Chrome Galaxy. It's gorgeous, but it's looking a little chunky on my eyelid. It's always looked that way when I apply this, and I feel like it picks itself up. I used to love these back in the day, but I just don't know if I'm looking for something different nowadays. My opinions have changed, my experience in testing makeup has changed, and if this is the representation of all the others, I don't love this anymore. It just looks chunky, it's clumping up into my crease, and it was picking itself up. I didn't have a good time applying it. So these look pretty, but when I got down to the nitty-gritty of the formula, I wasn't impressed by this. I have an eyeliner from Milani. This is the Stay Put Tank eyeliner. I have mine specifically in the shade brown. I also have a black. I don't love this. I wanted to because it deposits a great amount of color. It's nice and dark. But I find, especially for some reason, when I do my wings and you kind of have to go a little bit over again to fill in the area, it begins to pick the product back up. Like the eyeliner will come off after I've gone back and forth, so I kind of have to use pressing motions to get the color to stick. I also notice it will come off when I go to curl my lashes as well. So for some reason it flakes off. It doesn't like being poked and touched at. So other than that, the longevity of it is good, but I do have to fight a little bit with it in application, so I don't think it's a phenomenal product. Everybody raves about the Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascaras. I am not a fan. I think when it's all said and done, the formula, it's nice. It's not a heavy or wet formula, so it'll hold a curl pretty well, but I cannot get past the wand here. It is this hourglass wand, but I feel like it deposits the product uneven. My lashes look a little clumpy with this, like where the ball applies, it looks clumpy, and then I like try to make it even and then it looks clumpier and more uneven. So I'm not a fan of the wand. I think the formula is nice, but the wand ruins everything for me because it applies the mascara uneven and it looks clumpy in some areas, chunky in others, and not touched by mascara in others, so not as big of a fan of this. Which brings us into the last category of lips. So many great lip products have launched. These are just what I've been testing. The first one is a take on the Laneige lip balm from our dear Elf. This is the Elf Squeeze Me lip balm. It's so cute and tiny. These I highly recommend for purses because if you lose them, literally who cares? They are so cheap, they don't take up much space, and they're nice. They're kind of similar to the Summer Fridays and the Laneige where you do get a little bit of a glow that stays on for a little bit of time. I find the hydration here to be decent, nothing groundbreaking, but it's like a cheap little thing that's nice to have for some hydration, to add a little bit of shine back to the lips. I like it. I'm not moved. Strawberry one smells good. Formulation wise, like for example, I like Summer Friday better than I like this. The Summer Friday I think just sits on the lips a little bit longer and it also conditions a lot better in my opinion. But this is not something to turn your nose up. I think it's a great pickup. Maybe even something great for like if you have like daughters or nieces, somebody younger, I think they would enjoy those a lot. These dang ColourPop So Juicy Plumping Lip Liners. These, I do not like the application of these. I think they're too creamy, and I also struggle to get a defined line with this product. I feel like it's always catching on to dryness, and it just doesn't look straight and even when I apply this. So I really don't like that. Those are two big things. But I gotta give them credit where credit is due. These last a long time. I don't know what it is about these lip liners, but they always are outlasting my other lip products. I still always have that lip line from these lip liners. So that can be difficult for these brands to formulate when it comes to their lip liners. Like they might apply beautifully and even and precise, but then they don't last, so what's the point? At least these buggers stay on, so I'll give it to them. I have my beef with this lip liner, but baby, she lasts. She does. Also, I have this whole stunning range of lipsticks from Makeup Revolution. Other than the plastic that I literally cannot get off the packaging, it's giving like KKW. It's so pretty, so clean looking, and the range of colors, beautiful. And what a solid lipstick formulation this is. I truly have nothing to complain about. I mean, they're like a soft matte formulation. They're not too drying. They have decent lasting power. What shade do I have on? I put on a different shade in the demo. But right now, I have Rebel Rust on and it feels really nice. I have it on with one of the brown liners from ColourPop. Blends out easily. Stays on a decent amount of time. Comfortable enough. I love these lipsticks. If you want a cheap one to pick up at Ulta, don't turn your nose up at the Makeup Revolution ones. These ones are quite nice. A lot of I would say, very competitive with high-end lipsticks that are 2-3 times the price point. They have a lot of colors, so I'm just gonna show you the clip of where I go over all of them, well, the ones that I have. Lover Nude, Brunch Pink Nude, Queen Pink, Chauffeur Nude, Wifey Dusky Pink, Divine Brown, CEO Brick Red, Rebel Rust, Vibe Red, Berry Boss, Material Girl Wine, and Stiletto Brown. Anyways, yeah, nobody's talked about these, but these are a great pickup. And then I have some glowy glossy products next. The first one is from ColourPop in their So Juicy line. These are the Plumping Gloss Bombs. The shade that I demoed for you today is Doe, D-O-E. I think these might be my favorite of these stick gloss formulations because this one has a little bit more balm and less gloss, so it's not as goopy. So it actually has a body that will hold when you're applying it instead of it just like turning to mush on your lips, but it still gives that really pretty glow. I saw people talking about this for a little bit online and I hadn't tried it yet at that point, but now like looking back, I'm seeing why these were a worthwhile conversation because these are really nice. Probably my favorite of this style of product. If you feel like the MAC, I'm even thinking of Hourglass, Tarte, those are all really goopy. You have to be so careful. NYX is also super goopy, which if you adjust to it, you know what to expect. It's an easy fix, but I like these because I don't think they're too goopy. And then I have two of the most popular plumping glosses. This first one is from Maybelline. It's the Lifter Plump. I'm a huge fan of the Maybelline Lifter glosses in general. The plump one didn't do it for me for some reason. I think that's largely due to the color because I do enjoy the formulation of these. I got mine in the shade Mauve Bite. I don't know, something about it doesn't look as plump and juicy to me as the others. It just looks a little bit thinner on my lips. But dang, it's painful. What is up with the industry and these plumper glosses? They are like out to get us. They're creating some really painful plumpers. This one is in the clan. Quite painful. Personally, I like a little bit of chili pepper feeling to my lips, but it's a bit much. For a finish, I don't even care too much for, so I think I'll stick to the regular ones. The other plumping gloss that I have, NYX is killing it. I feel like everything they're launching is viral, but these were huge online. The Duck Plumps from NYX. These have a thicker formula. What I didn't like about the Maybelline is I said I felt like they were more on the thin side. This one, not on the thin side. Really nice glow to them as well. Probably not as reflective as my favorites, but I'm not going to complain. Also, extremely painful. It's one where like your lips touch it and then your whole throat feels like it's on fire, but I like it though. I oddly like it. Anyways, I would say I prefer this over the Maybelline formulation, but yeah, it is extremely painful when it comes to a lip plumper. I mean, I don't know how sensitive you are. Like, I can handle it, it's fine, but it's amongst one of the most painful that I've tried. So, yeah, but it is really nice, and is it worth the hype? IDK. I think it's just so spicy on the lips that's kind of what made people be like, what this? So there we have it, you guys. Those are all of the new drugstore products that I wanted to give you guys updates on. I still have a lot more drugstore products and affordable products in my drawer to go over with you guys, but these are the ones that I've been reaching for the most recently, and my opinions are formed on them. I knew what information I wanted to give you, so I hope that you guys found this helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more because I'm always testing new products, but I'm always coming back on videos like these to let you know off camera after I've used them and observed them how I feel. So like this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.